would be much stronger than just WordPress. So I will pass the time to Ali. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. So hi everyone. I'll use without my guy more comfortable. So I'm Ali. Sure. So yeah, hi there. I'm Ali, founder of Fantasktic AI. Today I'm going to share about no-code, low-code. So no worries, we're not here to replace developers, not here to start a war, just to share something from a designer and a founder perspective that hopefully can be useful for developers like you, whether you're working on a big corporate, whether you're working in a small startup, or working on your own projects, basically. So before I start, I just want to get an idea. How many of you use any no-code tool or low-code tool? Any? 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, well, it's a AWS venue developers. May I know which tool do you use?
Quite not some project in China, some project in US or whatever. So I don't want to mention the name.
Okay. Sure. So yeah, let me use the mic. So yeah, today I'm gonna focus on one particular area of no-code development, which is web building. Because it's already 2024 and it's not something that is super technical unless you're trying to build a web solution that we still requires effort from developers. A little bit about myself. So originally I'm from UST, from an engineering background, but personally I self-learned design by joining a lot of hackathons, and right now I'm working as a founder in Fantasktic AI, which is based in Science Park. So it's an ad tech company where we use intelligent technologies to provide better solutions for our classroom. So one of our solutions is using simple algorithms to personalize learning for students and then give valuable data back to teachers so they can enhance their teaching strategies. And we are also working on a new tool, using large language model to grade students' essays, so teachers can save a lot of time. As a founder of that company, I'm the only non-developer there. So all my teammates there are developer, working on front end, back end, AI models basically. And I draw rectangles a lot. So this is an insider joke in designers. Basically, we just draw frames on Figma and then hand it off to our developers. So I started back then in UST, but in the beginning I didn't know I would do a startup at all. I joined a lot of hackathons back then, so that's how I get into startups and design. And I won a lot of startups, and that gives me some credit on sharing what I'm going to share. First thing first, the winning formula I found out in startup, whether it's a hackathon or in a real customers world, it's basically 1% coding, 10% design, and then 100% bullshitting. So that's one of the winning formula I've figured out over the last past few years. And why I'm bringing this up. So basically, by the way, when we are joining hackathon, we realized that judges, they don't know coding. So all we have to do is just code a little bit and show them that we have the technical background. But what's matter more is what kind of visuals we can show to them. Is it beautiful? Is it good looking? Is it simple enough to understand? Is it functional? So sometimes we just draw a random prototype, we connect them together and show a video, and they thought it's a real prototype. They think it's deployed already, which is not. And last but not least, we also focus more on storytelling to impress the judges. And I realized the same thing applies when you get into society, when you get into let's say for us, when we are getting into schools, we are making a lot of fake designs to show teachers first. We get feedback and we know something to avoid, we know something we need to add, and then I pass all this information to my developers, so we save a lot of time and effort. We avoided a lot of mistakes by doing that. And as a founder, I realized that no-code, low-code played a very important role in the whole process. So a lot of startups I've seen, they always, the founders, they don't have any, a lot of them, they don't have any, practical skills besides from just, storytelling or pitching. And a lot of time when they want a website, the first thing they do is just ask the developer to build a website. When the developer have other important tasks to do, such as work on the actual solution, actual product itself. So that's why today I want to share about some no-code, low-code tool, especially web building. So the next time when a founder or your boss wants you to work on some simple tasks can be handled by people like us, who can't code, you can do that, or you can spend less time on doing this kind of stuff, using these kind of tools, and spend more time on working on a product, on infrastructure and other stuff. So here's some no-code, low-code tool example. Probably you might recognize Notion or Slack. Basically, they have database, automation, different kind of functions that define it as a simple no-code or low-code tool. And there are like form builders as well, like let me see which one is a form builder. There's Typeform, I remember, and there's Typeform, etc. So in the world of no-code, low-code, there's a lot of different tools. We'll specifically focus more on web building. So I heard WordPress earlier. Personally, I never tried WordPress. Like, I'm still young. I just got out from the university like 2 years ago. When I started doing web development, the first thing I saw is Webflow. So I was very lucky. In my generation, there's no code tool like Webflow that allows me to build website without a single line of code. And of course, I heard a lot of bad things about WordPress anyway, because a lot of companies are still using WordPress. One of our clients, I'm not going to mention the name, they insist on using WordPress. So luckily, I was only the designer in the team in my friend's studio. I'm not the one who's handling all the WordPress issues. I'm just providing them a design through Figma. But from what I saw, they spent 6 or 7 months on making a simple website just because WordPress is kind of outdated. And there are a lot of plugins that slows the website down. I started with Webflow, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you maybe heard of Wix already, because people around you, they might have used Wix before. Wix is, I would say, a common tool because it's very stupid, it's very easy to use, but there's not much design control. Like, you cannot make a lot of customization there. There are like certain patterns you have to use. And then there comes Webflow. Webflow is one of the very professional tools that lies between design and code. So a lot of time, it's not just designers using Webflow to make website. Developers also do so because they have some powerful functions to allow you to do custom code and do some things that us designers can't do, but still manage to deliver great experience through your website. And there comes Framer, a new kid in the block. Framer started as a prototyping tool. So I'm not sure if you know Figma. If you work with designers, you have heard of Figma. You always inspect their file, right? So back then, Framer is doing exactly what Figma is doing, but Figma is too good. And Framer is lagging behind. So they should be dead back then. But luckily, they pivoted. They pivoted into a web builder. And right now, they're rising very fast. And a lot of designers, or even developers, are moving on from coding, or from Webflow, or from WordPress to Framer right now, given its interface looks like Figma, by the way they started. And it's very easy to use, very functional, and the update they're providing is very good. And I mean, of course, it's based on AWS technology, so that's why it's deployed. Like when you deploy website on it, it's very fast, it's very smooth. So I personally use Framer for a lot of different purposes. So, from the first one, personal portfolio. So a lot of you developers, whenever you look for a job or you're just working on some projects and want to show off your projects, right? You would definitely build a folder. So as a founder myself, when I receive, people trying to apply for our company, a lot of time I just receive some simple PDF, or sometimes I receive Git link that I won't check because I'm not a developer. I'll just pass it to my CTO. A lot of time we need to build a simple personal portfolio, right? So there are a lot of tools online out there that allow us to make simple websites, list our project. Framer is one of them, obviously. It took me like 2 hours to build a simple but impressive website with simple animation. So I can show you later on, basically. And this is like very fast. Actually, you can just do this within 15 or 20 minutes. It took me 2 hours because of I keep changing the elements. I have some new ideas. I also use Framer to build some startup websites. So especially for my startup, Fantasktic AI, if I give this to my developer, if I give this design to my developer, it probably would take them around 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And it's not gonna be as impressive as I build it myself within a day or two, basically. And I'm also working on some side project, like I'm building a directory. And this directory is actually run, like the technology behind is basically Notion database. So I connected my Notion database to Framer to just share resources with designers and builders and using their plugin ecosystem. So here are just some example. I'm just gonna do a quick demo on how to build a simple website real quick, and hopefully I can give you some simple tips as well. So even though you're developers, the next time you just wanna build a simple marketing site for your colleagues, you wanna bring a revamp to your personal site, at least there's a better tool out there for that, and you can save your development effort into actual products. So I'm gonna do a simple quick demo on this website. So I found this website this morning. I like this style of showcasing project. It's kind of cool. So I already downloaded that image and used it right away, basically. So I'm just gonna do a quick demo here, and we can see how it works. So this is basically Framer. Yeah, I think many of you have seen Figma. It's like similar interface. Layers is on the left-hand side, while the design settings are on the right-hand side. So first and foremost, opening breakpoints. We always like open breakpoints from the large one. Change it to 1440. So with breakpoint, obviously we can make responsive website. And one of the best thing about this, like comparing to Webflow, is it only takes one glance to see everything, like from large screen to mobile phone. And then I'm gonna create a simple CMS for my projects. Oh shoot, not this one. Let me speak louder so I can use both my hands, it's faster. So here I'm gonna create a simple database project and create some fields. So it's gonna take 15 minutes. So title. And then let me also give it an image field, so it's not covering image. So by the way, you can also connect this to your own database by creating some plugins or create some API. But again, I can't code, so I'm just gonna make this real quick. Let me just copy two of the projects. So Hinge, let's see, Hinge, wrong spelling, and then this is fastest growing dating app. And I'm gonna get this photo, paste it over here. And by the way, they are very powerful that they actually work on a lot of technologies to speed up your website. One of them is actually compressing our image and turning it into an AVIF form, AVIF. I'm not sure which format it's, but all I know is that it's a very lightweight image file. So a lot of time, other people, other designers, I realize that they don't even know the importance of having an image with a small size because of all the loading time and speed. So this is a very good thing. Let's see, RAM. I'll just put one more project so I can speed up. And XXX billion dollar company. And then here we go, RAM company. In fact, I think RAM's website is also run on Framework, if I remember correctly. Let's see. So there's a way we can check if it's on Framework. RAM, is it this one? Okay, good. Inspect. No, this one is not. I think there is another bank, probably. There's a bank using Framework as well. So I have two projects here, and I'm going to remove all this. Now I'm going to make a frame. So one good thing about Framer, comparing to Webflow or even coding, is that you can just freely open stuff anywhere on the canvas, and it gives you a lot of design freedom. Oh, this is not the one we're working on. This one. So I'm gonna change 100 view height, and then I'm gonna use layout. So you can remember some terms like static grid. Probably is familiar to you if you do some front-end development. 100 view. Okay, so let's say this is the hero section. Hero. Oh, okay. Just HE and HE this one. So now let me build another collection real quick. Here we go. So this is a project collection. Let me turn it into fill. This is a project card. Let me turn it into 100 view height. And then fill the whole card. So basically it applies to all the items within the content management system. And as you see, as we are building, it's all on every view. And if I come back here, basically what I want to do is just center this thing. So here we have RAM, the title. So let's make this sense here. Let's turn it all the way to 12. Let me see if it's the same thing. Yeah, it's similar. So what happens here? And then turn it into something round. Okay, for this image, I'm going to turn the position from relative to absolute, and then let me see, 100%. And let's do a 240 pixel, and simply turn it into a fit image. Now let me hide this image for a while because there's one more element missing. The subtitle. So let's see. For this one, we just go for outfit and 32. Let's go for black color, and let's go for 40. And the way we link the items in the CMS is basically here, set variable and items. Wow, so you got both projects listed here by just making one card. So just like, I'm not sure if it's called component in devs, but it's something similar. And then view project. So here's another powerful feature that we can use is create a component called button for project. And I'm gonna make simple state. So this is default. And it's powerful ecosystem provide us with other useful stuff. Let's say here we can get the arrow right, from phosphor icon. And let's turn it into blue. And what we want is layout, horizontal, fit the content, fit the height. 32, 32. And here, oh, the blue color. We can always use these two. And then I'm going to make another state for hovering. So here you can see whatever you do here, you can just see it immediately. Unlike coding, always you have to run. I'm not sure how to do it. Like you always code and then check it right away. But here we can always, whenever we're designing, we're just looking at the design itself. So I'm gonna put a white color here as well. And give it a radius. Give it a simple border. So it looks a little bit ugly because I'm just rushing the project. Usually it looks much better. I'm a better designer than this. But screw this. Let's do it quickly. So I'm just going to do a simple interaction. The color change a little bit. Okay. So within minutes we have make a simple button that works. Let me turn this into 32, and turn this into 20. So now if I run this thing, just play. So yeah, it works. So last but not least, just give it some simple colors and some effects. So for the image, if you look at the website, it's like it's running in different speed or rising up. So we can do this simply by giving it an effect. So we can give it an effect of scroll speed, maybe run a little bit faster. And also we can give it another effect for appearing. So when the layer is in the view, when the image comes into that view, we can have it fade in from a lower perspective. So enter maybe from 100. So if you run this again, you can see the speed is different, and also it only appears when it's in the content, like when it comes into the view. So if I move down a little bit so it looks better. And let me give it some simple text effect as well. So whenever this thing is coming to the view, we can give it a stager effect for each character, and we can give it another effect here for layer view. So each word come up, and then I'll give it a small delay. So now you can see, basically, in a few clicks, you can apply some simple text animation, which I'm not sure how long it would take you if you do it, by coding. For my developers, usually if I give them fancy design, they'll just get mad somehow. And so yeah, here's just a simple example of what you could do. So here's my website. I can just simply show you. This, if you do it fast, you can do it within 30 minutes if you have idea in your mind. So it took me 2 hours because I was just chilling and I just want to revamp my website. And I realized as a designer, the most important part is show visuals. Like, do not bullshit too much. Sometimes you have to show them your work, and if they like your work, if they like your style, you'll get more clients basically. So yeah. So that's just a quick demo of how Framer works. It's much more powerful than that. And you can go home and try a little bit as well. So probably by the end of this week or next week, you might have a new website for your own personal projects. So there are a lot of companies out there, or even developers or builders out there. So I say for this one of the builders out there in US, he built a simple waitlist page on Framer and shared it with the community. And obviously he's focusing on building the app itself. And I think this will probably take him 30 minutes or 1 hour to build. And it's very good looking. And even the form here is a native form from Framer, which you can use webhook to pass the data to whichever place you want to. Or you can just connect it to your Gmail or Excel sheet. So the way they build form and the way submit form is very native and intuitive that you don't even have to use a third-party service here. This is another developer working on an app for noting down your dream. Whenever you wake up, you don't want to forget your dream. He made an app for that, and he also built a simple website to showcase the idea, so people can just pass in their email. So for these developers, it took them like a few hours to just set up a website and already share the idea with the community, so they can start getting feedback. And there are a lot of other good examples as well. So I'll just quickly show a few of them. These are obviously way more impressive than what I've built, and I also try to improve my skills as well. HKIIT is one of them. So they are one new product tool in the market. It's built on Framer. So whenever I saw a good-looking website and I feel like there's Framer running behind, I'll just inspect and see. If it's a Framer website, usually on the top it would say built with Framer, and that's how you can tell if it's a Framer website or Webflow website. Webflow will do the same thing as well. And they build a quite interactive website here. So you can see when I'm moving my mouse here, it's following me. So I can say this effect is not built without code. It actually requires some custom code, which I'm going to talk later on about that. And yeah, they make a quite impressive website on some interactions. I think there's some button you can click as well. And it's very easy to do these kind of interactions. And then there's Flighty. They just revamped their website, I think, a few weeks ago. It's a quite popular flight tracking app. And it's also very impressive, the way they build the app. And then there's TinyBomb. It's a product company. So just now it's like software, but this is the product company. This is probably another custom component made by some other builders like you. And put it there. You can upload a video, and as you're scrolling, it'll just follow how far you're scrolling. And this is like an Apple-like website, which is quite cool. And in fact, a lot of builders on Framer, they try to remake the Apple website because it's kind of possible. We don't really need to code to make the Apple website. And then there's a startup in the US. They're kind of crazy. They made a pitch deck as a website. So this is like a chat where they're actually pitching their ideas. I think they're from the Y company. If I'm not wrong, I forgot. And it's actually a team of 3 people. They're actually focusing on building their apps here, these 3. And I'm pretty sure this website is made by the product person, not by the developer. The developer is actually focusing on the tool itself. And it's kind of impressive the way they built this website to just pitch their idea. Then there's this. This is actually an evaluation form from a church. They made an evaluation form on Framer. So every Sunday, if you go to the church, they'll have you fill this form. And even this effect here, it's made by someone in the community, and we can just remix for free. So again, native form here. Let me see what else is there. This is another cool waiting list website made by some studio in Tokyo. They're making some very cool photography filter app. And of course, they make the website with, okay, almost time up. They make the website with Framer as well. And this is an NFT project website. I'm not sure about how many of you are still passionate about Web3, but it doesn't look scammy. Like, it looks very cool. Like you can see here, it's made by Web4, made with Web4. It's still much better than the other ugly NFT websites. So it's so cool. So even though I'm not a big fan of Web3, I still put this in my bookmark. Even Perplexity. So I think more people know about this thing already. Perplexity, they made their blog on Framer. So a huge team like that, they still prefer Framer. And this is some simple playlist made by another popular designer. And let's see what else is there. So this is a cool website built by, I think it's a design engineer. So even engineers sometimes use Framer to make cool looking websites here. And another cool one I've seen from the community. So this is obviously a product designer. And then, so this one. Jay Chu, I'm not sure where he's from. He is sharing some other resources that requires coding, that how we can use code to make our Framer site even more impressive. So there are a lot of limitations from Framer, which I'm about to talk about. So people like him, he starts coding some stuff that he knows other designers might want to use. And there are also some explanations which I can't understand, because again, I can't code. You guys can code, you might understand. And here he is sharing some example as well, and even sharing the file for free to use. So yeah, so this is the dream, the one I was talking about, the dream. So yeah, let me get back to my slide. It's almost ending. So basically, yeah, I want to talk about the limitation. Even though Framer seems very powerful, we can make a website real quick. There's still a lot of limitation. There are a lot of fancy effects that we can't make. The good thing is Framer has code. Like we can actually make custom code there. We can either do override on existing frames, or we can create code component to put it there. So that's why another thing I want to share about, it's not just about giving you a tool to make website faster, but also us designers, we are not like, we can use frameworks, so we don't need developers. Sometimes we need you to build better products. Also, even when it comes to no-code tools like this, it would be great to have developers working together to build more impressive effect. So this is one of the code I got very early from the community. It's called directional hover. Whichever way you hover into and leave, the frame basically follows you. So I'm going to show you real quick how I apply it to my website as well to make it more fantastic basically. So yeah, it's called Fantastic. So the background is a custom code made by Framer University, free project online. And then here, as you see, I come inside and go, it just follows. That's the code I just showed you. And another code I'm using here, again, I didn't write the code myself, someone else did it. The photo follows wherever I move to. So with all this, whenever our client, the schools, when they see the website, they think it's very impressive. But they didn't know that I didn't spend any time on coding. I just built this with Framer and other people's code that I don't understand, but it works. And that's how I tend to impress them basically. So even solutions like this are not ready. We are only selling our first solution right now, and this one is building in process, but we still put it on a website and show it to them. The key is, first of all, impress them, and fake it till you make it as well. And most importantly, they give us very valuable feedback, so we can save some time in development. We can focus on the things that they really want. And there are other builders, let's say Segment UI, which I paid for. There's like 300 custom code components, which I found a lot of them very useful. So again, developers like you, Framer is not just a place for you to make websites, but sometimes you can also provide valuable resources to other designers as well. Override is another one. They also make quite some custom components that we can use. So that's about it, my sharing. Last but not least, the grades I mentioned in the very beginning. It's basically a directory I built to share design and development, simple development resources to designers, builders, and founders. So if you like, you can just scan the QR code and check out the resources there. So I update this directory every 2 days. I also send out newsletters. You can also fill in your email if you want to get the update. I'll just leave it open. And it's greatstuff.fyi, so it's easy to remember. And yeah, last but not least, if you want to connect with me, that's my personal website. That's all for the sharing. That's it. Thank you. Thank you. Any questions from the floor? Or any feedback? It's my first time.
One question actually, I'm not a programmer, but most of the time when somebody talking about use this kind of tools, it seems that it's just made a prototype. At the end of the day, you need to rebrand the architect to make what we mentioned about the mission critical product. Is still the same situation? So
that's why I said this is not for building products. Like developers should be focusing on developing products. I never ask my developers to make the website you just saw. Like they never touch this website. Because I'm pretty sure if they touch it, it's not going to look good. They're default, no offense, but yeah, I'm the designer. So basically, these kind of tools help us more on the marketing perspective. But there are some people who are trying to use Framer to build some simple products that requires a little bit custom code and API, or even they can fetch data, by the way. There's new fetch system here. So again, we're not here to say, no-code tools like this is going to reduce production. It's not going to do that, but there are a lot of stuff should be replaced by that, and we should be focusing more on the product itself for developers. So, yeah, that's why. Any other? No, I think that's it. Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ali. So, yeah, I usually build ugly websites, so maybe I have to study a little bit. So, yeah. Okay. So, upcoming we will have next sections that will be presenting by Cyrus and Koei about the legend of AWS Warrior, a free open source 3D RPG adventure game with generative AI for learning AWS. So ready? Okay, so I pass time to Cyrus.
Hello everyone. This is Cyrus Wong, and this is my student. And today we will share something about what I'm doing in my school. This is my student assignment, and my student is working on it every day now. And let's switch to our slides first and slide here. Okay. 冇單嗰度。有啊，有呢個我呢個嘛，係咪唔緊要咯，有 download。Sorry, just read one second. Download history. Yes. Okay. 明啦，係有 logo 版嗰啲。Oh, okay. I will share his slide and okay. Just wait a second. Still loading. 放唔到大嘢咁神奇喂！咦未嘥唔使嘥啦嘛 ，slide show by the beginning 得啦。Okay, it works. Okay, let's for myself introduce again. I'm the AWS machine learning hero of Hong Kong. And actually, for myself, I'm working as a senior lecturer in an institution called Hong Kong HKIIT. And Cisco is my student. And just say hi. Okay. Wait for you.
Okay, I'm Koei. Hello, everyone. And I'm the year 1 student in HKIIT. And let me bring you some quick introduction of our game. And the AWS Legend, the Legend of AWS Warrior, is an innovative and also approaching to learning AWS through the gaming to our students like me. And I think learning is very boring, and then this game can bring me more fun and also learn the AWS through the game, through this warrior game. And then it's also designed to help us, the students, to use the AWS Academy Learner Lab and also the AWS HKIIT Lab to engage with the cloud computing concepts in a fun and interactive way, just as I told you. And then through the Amazon Bedrock, the systems.
And just a bit background for ourselves, since someone may don't know about what is Hong Kong HKIIT. Actually, in the past, we are Ivy and you are Ivy IT. But since last year, we have some extra funding from government where we restructured our institution into the Hong Kong Technology Institution. It's a college mainly focused on teaching information technology, all kind of technologies here. And okay, and for my course and beyond this, my course is teaching everything on AWS. So there's some of my students here. They will take all the course under the list. And my student, you will present the next round is the WorldSkills, and we cover most of the exam, more than half in our institution. And also, if you take my course, you can get the exam voucher. Not voucher. We can convert the exam free. Just it means that you can take free AWS exam for free. Yeah. Okay. For the background.
And also bring you some background. The AWS Academy Learner is a long-running hands-on lab environmental where the educators can bring them on their own, and then they can use this learner lab can bring lots of stuff, or also lots of system can give our students to use, and also the assignments can they can use the AWS Learner Lab to bring their assignments and invite their students to get more experience and using the AWS service. And then it just starts for free for 4 hours IAM section token.
Yeah.
It's free.
Yeah. And it means that every time students start the lab, they will have the 4 hours for them to try on the lab. Let me show you the demonstration and then I explain the architecture for you. Sorry, since my channel have my YouTube channel have this. Okay, just skip the. Can't skip it. Okay, skip the mouse. Yeah, my mouse is a bit difficult. Yeah, okay. Let me introduce again for my student assignments to called AWS AI Ledger of Warrior. Cool. Okay. First of all, since this assignment is on top of the AWS academic name. There's this temporary section token, so that you need to renew the token every 3 hours, and then you need to submit your API key. This is unique for every student. And first of all, let me demo. I put my key here, and then I put my AWS Academy Learner Lab section token, and will be valid for 4 hours. And okay, this is this one. Copy, and then place here, and then save the confidential.
The 4-hour session token
in the
from Amazon and AWS Learner.
And if you retry it, it will become the update. And now you go to Max, and then pay the ledger of AWS area here. And if you load the game, and in this game you need to just follow my demonstration. You can kill some monster and can talk to some VPC, and you just use a basic game control WASD and then the spacebar. Yeah. First of all, if you want to talk to the VPC, you just come to here to use a mouse click, and then it was supposed to answer something. This is from Bedrock, or then it is Bedrock to send some random NPC message or some game instruction just for your lucky. If you got luck, you get the game instruction. You know, you just say hi here, and then this is not the task. And then I just try again. This one is also not the task. Just talk to her again. Okay, this is the real task for you. This is your very confidential. You need to set up, you submit your AWS Learner Lab confidential here. That's just I mentioned before. I'll just do it here already. And here I can just try to kill it, get the task, and then I need to finish it. But this task is already finished. I need to check is this valid. I need to kill a monster. Now I go to kill a monster, and just be careful as the monster is coming. And then cut it. Ow! Yeah, he died.
It run the unit test now.
in the behind the scene, if you check AWS Lambda to run the unit test about the confidential is valid. Is it valid? Come to here to take the marks again. Okay, my AWS confidential is valid. I also have saved its account here, and this is the first task. And then second one, I want to do another task. I need to talk to the girl again. Oh, second task is quite straightforward. Oh, this is the lucky where we will see the actual question without go through the background. Is straightforward, and it is just create a slider and ABC
Create VPC.
the name here, and so it means you take a name tag. I already done this task already. So the unit test will pass. I saw it. I said, will not do create a VPC here. I want to track it. Is this my assignment is, but this is my task is okay. I need to kill a monster to run the unit test. I just look for a monster near me. This one is okay, but this is risky as a few monsters may come together. Just there. Okay, one by one kill it and wait for it. Cut. He died.
The unit test run again.
It doesn't energy. Okay, and if you understand, so run the unit test. So give a second, you can come to here. Oh, okay. I created the VPC of the site address already, so I got the mark. And you can do this task with Berkeley as just you can also click here to get your task historical record here and here, and just repeat and repeat. You don't care about if you kill it in the virtual world, just refresh the browser and play the game again. And okay, this is the demonstration of the ledger of AWS work.
Oh, this is the just finished demonstration and
Hey
the video
everyone,
here.
welcome to my...
Okay, here's the architecture. It's just I doing something where everything is to me. I need to make something very cheap as I don't have any funding. I always using the HKIIT to create infrastructure. So I just using AWS Lambda and API gateway to create the, for example, it will run the unit test there to test about the student account. Is they create the correct infrastructure, for example, the VPC, the ID, or the subnet, the server, whatever. All kind of settings. It's using Lambda to run the unit test. And you see that we can track with the NPC there and give you something very funny and interactive for you. As we're using Amazon Bedrock to change the correction every time. Okay, every student play the game, they will have different correction for themselves. They will not repeat. Since the AI is helping us to rewrite the correction and instruction for all students every time is different. And then we keep all the record in the DynamoDB and also the test result. For example, we run it under the end unit, we're using C#. And it will save the test result into the bucket so that SV bucket so that we can keep the record. Now we will explain just the architecture. So use some source code. And for example, first of all, the overall we have different kind of we are also using the SV bucket as a static website. And then this is a Spark application. Well, we have a React application here, and the React application is we just save the key and then we will store into the DynamoDB. But however, I just mentioned that the field of trust lab exercise for students, they can only have the session token for 4 hours. So we need to let our students to keep update the token if they want to play the game so that we can access their AWS account. And we just it's very simple React application, but we do using CloudFront to speed up the download, and then we save the confidential. We need to say a thanks to the creator, as we are not a game developer. We actually just follow a YouTube channel of this developer, and then we create a game, and then we modify the game so that we will be able to call the API gateway to get the mark, to do the unit test, something like that. We say the save and Simon YouTube channel is quite good for learning game programming. And behind the scenes is that we just mentioned the feature. We have two kinds of trigger. First kind of trigger is that you can talk to the girl. The girl will give you the task on top of the requirement for the assignment. And then you kill a monster. It will run the unit test on the task so that you can check about you can get the mark or not. And then here's our source code. And I'm using the C# for this Lambda function. And then I am using the API gateway to use the REST API integration. If you have some background of API gateway, you can have the proxy integration or REST integration. And this is version 2 already. Last time I shared it in AWS Summit, actually, it's the over version is a proxy. The difference between using the API gateway proxy integration or the REST integration is that I can have a separate Lambda function for each activity so that we can have separate log stream and can be much easier debug and trace about the problem. So this is version 2 is much easier. And also we can, in the last time, I'm unable to using the API gateway usage path to do the range limit. Since some of my students actually quite smart, they just want to don't play the game, they just write the API directly, call to my API and then try to get the mark. Okay? The last version is working, they work, but this version they don't work anymore. Since this version, the API key is the range limit, you can't call the API so fast. We just slow down they try to bomb the game. Okay? For this project, I am using AWS. Okay? A bit background. If you are the AWS user, you may know about CloudFormation. Okay? It's very nice, very good already. But if you're writing CloudFormation, you take your time to write a very long YAML. Yeah, YAML is quite good. In my age, I'm using CloudFormation as JSON. It's very extremely painful. But if you are just doing something seriously over serverless, you can use SAM framework. SAM framework is you can say a macro. It will convert a very short YAML format, expand it into the longer version CloudFormation, and they help you to create the cloud infrastructure without doing anything. Just run my code. You don't have to keep anything. And SAM, I am using SAM. For example, a source code here is about the API gateway. Just very simple. An API here, API code here. And then I also integrate CloudFront here. For example, I generate CloudFront and then I reference to it so that I can only allow the AJAX call, the JavaScript call to our CloudFront from our CloudFront distribution. I'm not sure about you know about the security. If you know about the web security, you don't want your HTML web page or JavaScript to send your login username password to a website you don't know. You want to block it. So the course web configuration here is trying to protect our API from being sent the data to other place. And then the user here is the metric. I just limit the number of requests from my student. Every student got a key. And then they are able to call our API to get the question, the checks, the unit test, whatever they done. We just count the number of requests they want to. It's just very simple. Just put the user plan for them. And then they are unable to call it with their Python program and then from the API. Here is one of the Lambda function I extract the source code. If you are using SAM, it's quite straightforward. You just put the folder path, and then the handler function is a Python. This is the C# version, and then you give the permission. This permission for AWS SAM it will expand to the very long IAM permission at behind the scene. It's simplified. You set up the 5 grand permission in AWS, and then we also can inject some environment variable for our source code, and then here is quite happy. If you want to define your REST API, you have 2 solutions. One of the solutions in the past, you need to do the open API specification or Stringer. It's quite complicated. But you can now, if you are using SAM, you can directly to just configure the event here, API event here, and then provide the API ID. And then also, I just told them, oh, you need to check the API here, this source code. 1 line of source code, I can control the range limit. Okay. Oh, next. And here is the trick I blocked it for a few days. They debug me, I'm not feeling for an afternoon. One of the problems is that I migrated my source code from the proxy integration towards the REST API integration. There's 2 types of API. And the problem is that I found that I am unable to call my API through JavaScript for the agents. The problem is that when you call the agents, it is supposed to have a so-called option. Okay, for HTTP protocol, you know that there is a post, get, delete, put, and then one more is option. If you are not able to support the course web on the option method, you are not able to do the course API call from JavaScript. And this is something straight from SAM framework. As a SAM framework, you need to define every API call through the last line. You have the API, the get API, the get, the post, whatever. If you want to overall in your cloud formation, okay, on the SAM template, every API also allow the course web. You need to define something like that here. But you can override it inside the function, but you need to provide it at least the option API, option method will be replicable. And here is the source code. You enable the course web option here, and also you in your source code, for example, here is the C#. You need to also provide the header here. Otherwise, the JavaScript will not work. Okay, let's continue. And here is my source code. How can I test my student AWS setting? Is this correct or not? Okay. For the formal method, if you are an AWS user, you know about there is this AWS config. Actually, I'm doing something very similar to AWS config, but I'm just using SDK and then NUnit, C# NUnit to write the unit test based on the SDK to test different kind of AWS setting, and then just assert the check about they have the correct CIDR, they have the correct IP, whatever they do. This is just a unit test. And then I am using the C# reflection so that I mark my instruction just over the attribute here, and then I divide the order. Since this is a game, we have the order of paying the task. For example, you need to create your VPC before you create the subnet, before you create everything else. So that we have the order attribute, so that we can have a manual setup of sorting of the unit test. Okay, now it's about the game controller here. And the game controller is just the game task. I told you that this is somewhere dumb here. So then you sometimes still talk to the NPC. If you just say hi to you and then chat with you, it don't have any game task on AWS at all. Since they have a random vector here, sometimes only the less than first vector will get the game task, and then other ones the random track full Bedrock. And this is the Bedrock API call. For example, random track out, I put a prompt here. Write a short sentence less than 20 words, and then write a word. Tell AWS warrior how to encourage him to kill the monster. Then they will generate a very funny conversation, and then tell students something. Oh, you kill the monster, whatever, and then it makes fun. For other case, if you want to modify the question, since for learning, it is quite easy for students to copy from each other if the question is already the same. Okay, so then I just use Bedrock. It does Bedrock to me. It's very simple one, the Titan model. Okay, you don't have to use a very powerful large language model to rewrite the sentence. People say that Titan model is not so useful. No. Not everything you should use the code. Okay, you don't have to use a very powerful model for everything. You always need to think about what task you are doing, and then use the proper model to save your money and save the environment. Okay, just use the Titan model. I can rewrite my student assignment instruction every time, so that the student go through this prompt. It is just something like that. Oh, you are just follow the instruction, and then you rewrite them as the AWS warrior, and then you have the prompt here, and then you rewrite the question every time. And then the graded controller is that behind the scenes, I want to make the application more flexible. I just run a unit test inside Lambda. People may think about Lambda, what's limitation? I can tell you that Lambda nearly you can do everything normally in a Linux. It's not a Docker, it's just something like a Linux. In Linux, you can run any program, any unit test. For ourselves, I just install the end unit data, and then I run the unit test based on the command processing. Okay, we just create a command line argument here. Inside Lambda, start another process, and then run the unit test. People may think about you Lambda may just directly use source code, but not. You can even run the NPV conversion there. You can run any process. You just install something in Amazon Linux, and then put it into layer, and then you can run it. But for ourselves, this utility, we are running the unit test. Okay, we are also doing something called exam mode. Okay, we will test our students in the lab through a practical test. They don't have to play the game, but we want to count my student mark in parallel every 5 minutes. Okay, in parallel. The most important in parallel. Otherwise, it will not be fair to students, as we count the mark someone before, someone first, someone later. It is unfair for the student who is the next one. So I write a step function here. Just use the map. Okay. I'm not sure, but you understand about the map reduce framework. Okay. But put it in a simple word. You have an array. My array is all my student accounts. Say 100 students together. I got 100 AWS accounts. In parallel, I call 100 Lambda function at the same time, and then 100 unit tests in parallel. So that all of the students will got their mark at the same time. This is very fair. It's a very fair marking process. I use step function to mark all my students here. And if you want to define step function over the AWS is still okay, since you can put a JSON at the external, and then you just load it here. You can run the unit test in parallel. This is the step function. And one more explanation is something interesting. People say about that. How powerful of step function is that? Step function is one of the releases is very powerful. You can directly call all the AWS SDK without writing Lambda. This one is very powerful release 2 years ago. Here is a demonstration. I read the DynamoDB, whole of the Dynamo scan DynamoDB, no Lambda, just step function. I don't have to, in the past, I need to create a Lambda and then read the DynamoDB and return data. But after the release of step function, directly able to call SDK, you can do anything in SDK or command line through step function without Lambda. Okay, one more. And finally, there is the schedule here. Here is the JSON. And then you see my source code here. I have a map here. And then the first step is we scan the DynamoDB and then map all of the students at the same time. And then I'm able to run 100 parallel unit tests at the same time inside Lambda. Okay. For the deployment, it's quite very simple. This is the beauty of infrastructure as code. If you want to deploy something in another AWS account, it will be extremely difficult if you just create your AWS resource by kicking the console, typing the CLI. It is not scalable. Also, if for the open source spirit, I need to open source my project so that everyone can write a very simple deployment, just a single line of command, and then it will able to deploy the whole of the game, including everything. This is if you want to deploy my solution, it's quite simple. You just drop my repository. If you click, I'm in GitHub. I use a GitHub web code space. I just create code space, and then in my code space, I already predefined all the steps to install AWS SDK, whatever the latest version. And then just run the CR1 command deploy and then provide a hash key. This is a hash key, something magic behind the scene. We do some encryption so that the student is not able to easily get it. Then you can deploy the solution. And for the further development is this one maybe outdated as I already solved the range limit of the student problem since I don't want my student broke my API. I found my student got the GitHub repository. They say that, oh, I can hack the API to directly get the question. Yeah, they hacked my system. My students are so smart. They hacked my project. But now they can't hack it. Also, I want to generate more image for the game so that you can have some more image. But haven't tried it. You have the Titan image generator. And then finally, you may learn about AWS HKIIT. Actually, HKIIT now is free of charge for everyone, not just for students. You want to learn AWS for free, you can work on some AWS lab exercise without anything. You just have any email account. The builder account is builder account. You can pay around AWS for free. And I want to expand our game to show that we can also using the free lab from HKIIT so that for the general public they can pay the game and then learn AWS. Okay, conclusion.
Okay, let me bring some conclusion. And then this game, The Legend of AWS App Warrior, is an innovative approach to learning the AWS through the gaming in our school HKIIT. And then I can learn this game with some AWS Lambda and also Amazon S3 and also the DynamoDB into the AWS SAM, Cyrus just said, the serverless application. And then I can try to use the AWS Academy Learner Lab to use the AWS service and to the hands-on experience to us, and then it actually can work in our future career. Also, we can engage with some cloud computing and concepts in a fun and interactive way to the Amazon Bedrock also. And then it also allows to customization and also enable the educators or some learners like us and also other teachers can use this unit and to add a new unit test to this game, and then they can just try to learn more framework or learn more about AWS and other subject. And then it can make learning about AWS is more accessible. It's not really difficult and not really so hard. And then we try to encourage the development of the practical skills in a simulated environment and try to learn AWS and also try to learn cloud computing more easily.
I thank you everyone, and our session is completed. Thank you very much. Any questions? Okay. Any questions? If there's no question, just move to the next session. Oh, okay. 有冇人問？廣東話都 OK 咁問啊。OK， 喂冇咁我哋 move on 喎。啲Alex就嚟介紹下。咁我哋照行路。喂，咁我哋咧其實就let's go to the another session is that for the agenda we have a something interesting this year is that we just competed a very honor for Hong Kong. We got a winner of a competition, so-called WorldSkills competition. This is something called Olympics of the skill set. And today we are a great honor to invite the winner here, the expert, the previous competitor also got the prize, and then we just want to share the story what happening. We have a competition participating AWS globally. Okay, every city. Hey, let's ask everyone come on. Yeah, for today's if this is a Will. Okay, Will come on. And hello. Yeah, and see if this is working. And then Mike, say hi. 你埋聲。
Yes, okay.
攞啲凳坐下好啲，我哋有冇凳？sorry， 係啊，夾，得，受傷。Hello。First of all, I think I need to introduce what's WorldSkills for a few slides, and then we just share something interesting for you guys. You may not know about this, but actually, I just written in Chinese. I will do bilingual this session since some of the terms here is quite complicated for us to do it in English maybe. First of all, WorldSkills competitions, we have the cloud computer trace. This is sponsored by AWS. Actually, the cloud computing global competition is an AWS competition. And we are just trying to do the best practices of setting up AWS. 我哋係鬥玩 AWS， 就係但唔係鬥快嗰啲，我哋鬥 set 得靚。咁就一個世界賽嚟嘅。OK， 係同全地球都選手一齊玩嘅，咩國家都有。咁其實嚴格嚟講咧。We are saying Olympics，OK， the skill Olympics， 咁一個技能賽嘅奧林匹克啦，咁其實好多年㗎啦，50年玩到而家㗎啦，就係即係俾啲技工去鬥技術嘅 ，OK， 即係 fighting for the skill set，OK，not about the academic， just a skill。And here is first of all，the first competition of Hong Kong is in 21X，OK。咁第一屆咧就2018㗎，咁嗰年我搞啊，咁其實就we are working with AWS Academic， 咁 Academic 咧其實其中一個 Amazon 嘅 program 咯，咁當年咧其實搞嘅時候咧，全部 Amazon 啲美國同事飛晒過嚟搞啊，好勁，飛6個美國同事過嚟。Actually in the past in this year, this is all of the American guy, they go to all over the world, every city, every country.To run the competition. This is a new competition so that they go all over the world. And this is the first time for Hong Kong. The winner of Hong Kong will be selected go to the global competition. 咁香港贏咗咧，我哋就打世界賽。OK， 即係個遊戲係咁玩嘅。咁當年 academic 啦 ，AWS Academy 咧，其實就點解會搞呢單嘢咧？即係講少背景啦，即係咁可以爆多啲。因為都過咗期啊我，咁其實咧，因為咧佢搞呢個 academic 咧，佢當年我識個老細阿 Scott 未退休 ，Scott 而家退休啦，咁同埋病咗啦，其實咧一搞咗呢個 WorldSkills competition 咧，全國多咗幾百間學校一齊玩 Amazon， 未搞呢 competition， 中國係冇人玩 AWS 嘅，因為呢個比賽嘅，咁中國巴西、中國、印度都有人玩。好多國家都唔玩 AWS 嘅，但係因為呢個比賽咧，突然間玩 AWS 嘅學生咧暴漲咗100倍以上，可以達力暴漲100倍以上。Actually, behind the scenes is once the WorldSkills competition to told them it is using AWS, all of the world, all of the institutions, suddenly every city, every school in China, they are learning AWS now. Since that year, this is the first time, the beginning.And then we have some global skill competition, so that is 預賽啦 ，OK. Some P competition, not the global one. Just say they say global. Actually, it's Australia. Just say half of the city, half of the competition is there, and then we also fight for the game. We will explain more about the game later. This is the second time. And then this is the first time for myself go to the WorldSkills competition. It's in Russia, Kazan. 咁呢個係第一次就去咗俄羅斯嘅，我當年都仲去咗俄羅斯，而家就真係俄羅斯方塊啦。咁啊飲咗啲好入嘅羅宋湯嘅 ，OK。嗱，你見到下邊食緊飯。This is the lunch time there， 好黐線嘅，大到嚇死你。我哋唔知講1萬人喺嗰度，咁啊搞呢個 WorldSkills competition， 咁就成個飯堂影都影唔晒食緊飯。跟住上面我哋就呢個就係比賽啦，咁就係個會場就係基本上係嗰啲飛機嗰啲嗰大嗰啲廠房嚟。咁啊，跟住咧，其實我住咗喺奧運選手村咯，即係嗰個係俄羅斯年前做過奧運會嘅，跟住我就住咗一個冇人住嘅選手村，就包晒成個奧運會選手村爆比賽，住滿晒嘅。Actually, this is the Russia, and it's something very interesting, very large. This is Olympic villages for the Olympics in the past, and then this is the competition venue. What happening? But be honest, this competition for myself, there's no Hong Kong competitor in the competition. 咁冇派香港選手去到最尾，因為老實答你一樣嘢就係輸緊，因為最慘一樣嘢要同特首交代，即係又爆我俾個事實你，我喺澳洲爆尾。因為我選擇澳洲包咗全地球第尾翻嚟，即係人哋攞世界冠軍，我哋攞世界第尾，咁我就直情係唔好去啦呢即係你去即係影衰香港嘅啫。咁佢都好認同嘅，個同學仔都好明白嘅，因為咧最大嗰一個問題就係、個比賽上限26歲，我派個19歲出去，咁啊梗係炒啦！大佬哇嗰個咧，仲話打俾個仔啊，我啱個仔出咗世幾年啦，打俾個仔。即係人哋嗰啲係咁樣嘅狀態，所以係冇得玩。所以其實第一年咧就好慘啊，就炒啊。跟住仲有咧，其實我啲學生去啲好嘅公司成日都會，佢去咗間好好嘅公司係唔用 Linux 嘅，淨係用 mouse 嘅。咁佢做咗2年嘢，咁基本上咧一句 Linux command 我都唔記得啦。咁啊炒緊，所以其實冇得救嘅，得半年時間 train 唔到。咁所以最後就放棄咗啦。咁啊好搞笑嘅，去到俄羅斯咧，Amazon入唔到境。冇 AWS 任何嘅人喺俄羅斯出現過嘅，全程都係連線咁傾偈，最慘就揾唔到，即係嗰次俄羅斯我哋坐晒喺度，斷咗線喎，點搞咧？咁就好鬼搞嘢。咁啊，其實講下個遊戲啦，個遊戲咧其實就係咁玩嘅。我哋頭先講有16個國家喺度㗎，咁啊包括好多個德國啊、新加坡啊、俄羅斯啊。即係頭先嗰啲咧，呢啲人咧好多唔同國家嘅，有啲俄羅斯啊、德國啊、丹麥啊，全球都喺晒度㗎。OK， 咁其實咧嗰個計分咧就係以一個叫做逐個，即係而家啲帶隊我啲叫專教嘅，我哋叫 expert。咁我哋叫 expert， 我哋帶隊啲人就負責幫佢計分。咁就好慘烈嘅嗰單嘢，因為咧就係3個老師至4個老師走埋一台。就一齊睇同一個學生做，即係一個選手做嘅嘢，咁啊睇通頂啊，睇到 overnight 啊，因為其實咧就好慢嘅，真係哇逐個睇，哇哋真係逐個開咗 AWS console， 逐個 setting 喺度撳出去睇啊，咁啊撳到嘔電，咁跟住咧最慘就係 Amazon 咧就唔知做乜鬼嘢，每日都要清台，即係總之佢同我講你清唔晒，聽日就唔俾玩。咁就每晚一定要通頂喺度做完計完分咧，跟住啲學生又玩，我哋喺度死晒嗰盤，咁連續小3通，連續玩4日通咗3日頂，就係當時試過嗰度好大鑊。咁啊，其實亦都 hit 到個好得意嘅問題，就係呢個係一個世界比賽啦。咁其實佢哋講就話專家得個名嘅啫，好多人都係，即係我覺得佢哋就唔識嘅，即係照卡瑞話佢哋唔識嘅完全咁，跟住佢哋喺度比分，咁所以就好混嘅。咁所以其實冇派選手去都 OK 嘅。嗱咁啊，let me sort in English. It's that this is talking about the competition in Russia. Is that the problem is that Hong Kong there's no player. It's because the most problem is that we are doing the Australia competition. We have got the last ranking of the round. Okay, and then it's supposed to be since the age difference is very long. This 7-year difference is very different. It's a great difference for them. And then we are also this is very hard to handle it. And then this is the first one. But go to Russia is quite happy. You got a unique McDonald's in Russia. This is the first one. BSM. This is from Russia. Okay? And then here is some other competition. We told you that it's a skill competition. You see that there's 整車你知唔知佢哋整運土機啊、鏟泥車啊，我哋喺度寫緊 program， 佢哋喺度整緊鏟泥車，真係好壯觀嘅。你見到咧有人整車啦，有人砌牆啦，嗱呢度又比賽喎，呢度掘緊地喺度，種樹嘅呢個，見到啊？佢哋喺度掘緊地喺度植樹，我哋喺度寫 program， 我哋喺度玩 AWS。呢個比賽係好過癮嘅，你去到，你會見到全地球乜嘢人，有人砌磚啦，有人轉地啦，有人着地啦，有人整飛機、有人整車啦，乜都有。但係咧，我哋就喺度整緊 cloud。Okay? This is very interesting. We are working on AWS, but for other trade here, they are just doing something dumb. They are playing painting, and then so repair the car here. Okay, and this is the next round is my here. We are going to Korean for the second time for Hong Kong competition. And since this is the COVID age, and we separate the Hong Kong competition, the Gulf competition to different countries. Some of the people go Korean, some of the people go to Germany. I forget it's Germany or Denmark. Okay, and then some of go to different all over the world, not just a single country. For the first time, I go to Russia. Everyone is Russia. But this one is we separate in the world. 咁呢次咧第二次玩咧，就因為 Covid 就打散咗個世界拳大賽，本來喺上海搞嘅，結果就因為 Covid 就 cancel 咗，就打碎咗佢，就分晒去全球唔同嘅大城市搞。咁我哋就雲端咧，我哋就去咗仁川，去韓國仁川。咁咁呢啲場館嚟嘅，上面影翻落嚟咧，好巨大嘅。即係一個嗰啲好似會展，唔係會展啦，機場嗰啲倉咁樣擺裏面。咁同阿咪一齊啦，咪喺度啦。跟住其實呢個就係India 個 Asia Hero， 即係其實啲 expert 今次可以勁啲嘅，整翻個，即係其實都全場我覺得真係可以傾得下偈嘅佢。咁其他嗰啲其實我真係覺得佢唔係好識Amazon。咁啦，結果咧就都幾 happy 嘅，我哋就。第一次上陣，即係第一次有香港嘅人出去抽呢個比賽咧，我哋抽咁多個國家咧，我哋係抽咗個第4翻嚟嘅。不過都係佢唔生性，爭幾個掣叫佢撳佢又唔撳，撳多幾個掣我哋攞第3啊！第一日我就頂佢，喂你明知要撳你唔撳啊做乜鬼嘢咁我哋就爭啲已經攞獎㗎啦。即係我哋係冇經驗啊，都係最壯觀一樣嘢咧。嗱呢個就係重點啦。咁我哋翻嚟啦，咁咪。即係要見特首啦，都要即係攞第4啦，見特首嘅。因為其實都係嗰句，等同於奧運，即係佢哋 treat 呢樣嘢就當奧運睇嘅。咁我哋就攞咗個雲端運算嘅奧運到啲第4名。OK，個重點就係咧，我哋 swap 嚟嘅，我哋咩料咧 ？Sorry，we are not trained。我同佢咧係基本上係零準備。就衝咗去打世界賽。
我記得嗰陣時阿 Cyrus 咧，我揾佢係好似比賽前出發2個禮拜。
係啦，
第2個禮拜先揾佢，喂Cyrus，我哋會話：喂，阿咪準備好未啊？我話準備啲咩？
執行李咯。我就同你講，其實其他啲國家係點，我哋會解釋埋。但係我哋咧就真係一個完全係一個 no preparation at all。
Cyrus 就繼續喺Ivy 度繼續教書，我就繼續。
佢繼續翻工，係啦，攞日假，我就繼續上堂，跟住就夠鐘就上飛機，
夠鐘啦，得閒機場等。
係啦，諗住炒到飛起，結果攞咗第4。咁其實咧 ，let me show more explanation is that why did I don't prepare？第一個重點，我根本就唔知玩乜，因為佢冇啊，佢就得3個字 AWS。喂，幾大鑊你知唔知？去到你幾大鑊 ？Scale Maker、IoT 做啲咩啊？黐㗎真係，
做好多。
總之 AI 嗰邊啊，連乜都有，黐線嘅根本上，你根本上冇得準備嘅，乜嘢嚟㗎大佬？你成個3個字 AWS 即係地球，點 prepare 啫？咁所以咪冇 prepare咯，因為都唔知 prepare 啲乜。即係重點冇得準備㗎嘛？喂，大佬咁點搞啊，大佬？ 温咩書啫？同你講讀聖經喎，而家咪叫背聖經，就成本嘔咗佢叫你點嘔，冇得玩噶嘛。咁第二個重點就係咧，我覺得佢好勁嘅，佢話我最勁嘅學生，使唔使做咩啊？佢做喺Amazon出嚟嘅，如果Amazon出嚟冇你唔知Amazon啊嘛。喂，跟住識少少，咁佢啲牌同我一樣咁多啊嘛。
冇拎晒，爭兩張。
你爭兩張，我齊咗。佢同我爭兩張牌啫，有咩好教佢啊？即係重點我爭佢咩好教佢？同我爭兩張牌，你爭咗machine learning啫嘛。
machine learning同埋 advanced learning。
係咯，爭張 advanced learning啫嘛。咁爭兩張牌咁冇教佢嘅，唔自己教佢。咁啊，跟住仲有就係我信佢有尊嚴嘅，因為咧，即係其實我老實講，你代表呢啲奧運啊呢啲比賽嗰啲咧，你覺得輸咗樣衰咧，先至會贏嘅。即係呢個係好重點嚟嘅，你幾勁都冇用啊！如果你本身你唔覺得代表香港呢3個字係有 value 嘅，其實你冇玩。咁啊，跟住啦，咁其實個比賽咧係 game day 嚟，我哋揾唔到啊嘛，開都開唔到，玩條毛咩？即係老實講點開啫？冇得準備啊，開唔到機咁點準備都完全冇得變咩嘅，即係淨係知係嗰樣嘢啊，但係你係開唔到啊？點啊？有錢國家就開到，但係我哋真係冇 budget 噶嘛。咁啊〜跟住咧，其實都認真講，我哋冇獎金嘅，即係我哋第一年去打世界賽都冇獎金，即係贏咗又冇獎金，咁咪業餘咁玩，咁做到幾多做幾多。同埋喺俄羅斯之後咧，我有去俄羅斯噶嘛，去到咁啊鬥打賭同鬧交嘅啫嘛，鬥鬧嘅啫，咁我去鬧應該 OK 喎，即係我去講佢哋唔會同我駁嘴嘅，即係呢個都老實，有幾多 hero 坐喺裏面啦，咁啊得我一個坐喺裏面，跟住我攞兩個金牌出嚟同你講數啊。係啊，跟住同佢講我13張牌，你有幾張？1張，你咪同我拗啊！即係我真係咁同你傾啊！即係講真，佢唔係串唔串嘅問題。咁你真係鬥拗，因為所謂專家其實距離大家專家距離真係可以爭好遠咁咯。咁啊跟住咧，其實就經過俄羅斯同埋韓國個 conclusion 點樣有得鬥咧？你要贏咧，第一件事有冇獎金先？黐線嘅國家隊連贏幾次啦！1球俾個學生，1球俾個老師，咁你贏唔贏啊？我同你講，如果俾1球你哋玩唔玩？
佢梗係瞓身去玩。
嗰年我3個月都一齊唔做嘢，係咪先？我哋3個月都係攞價，1球我哋一定攞價嘅。但係而家我哋係淨係攞咗去嗰嘅價。咁啊跟住咧，一個上海戶籍，一個終身教籍，一世㗎。即係你一攞咗就等於一世㗎。咁所以佢哋真係一定好癲嘅。跟住鬥台灣、韓國唔使服兵役，跟住我哋打個對手 Samsung full time staff 做高邊 party 嘅，喺 Samsung 打 AWS 做 AWS 嘅，咁啊根本上啲對手全部都係全職嘅，所以我都覺得我打嘅。咁所以其實個遊戲規則咧就係仲有揾個大少少嘅，因為我第一年就係需揾個10幾歲嘅佢，即係戇居居咁，其實連搭 lift 都未揾到個掣啊！咁啊，即係點教啫？入唔到場館，你真係冇得鬥啊！你嗰個26歲，呢個19歲，你點鬥？所以要揾個打 boxing 一樣。要揾
嗰年我24啫。
啊，你嗰年24，佢都未綁艇嘅，佢打咗2年就贏冠軍。我哋咁樣盲中衝入去24歲，都未打綁艇，咁啊揾個打綁艇先有得玩，同埋一定要揾公司支援咯，因為老實講。真係業餘啊！即係如果老細話：喂，你唔玩得，即刻驚我喎。咁你哋揾個老細玩得嘅，咁個老細喺度，咁啊自己玩，咁就係重點。咁啊，最後就間公司都覺得輸咗樣衰喎，因為之前嗰間公司覺得全球加尾冇所謂啦咁樣。喂，好啦，喂咁就跟住其實我後尾冇玩，就到新人玩啦。咁就咁其實就老啦，升咗職啦，唔搞啦。咁啊〜到阿 Kitson 玩啦，咁今年攞獎。喂，快講夠時間。Next 先，係啦。
你有選手講咩啊？
有選手講兩句先咧。
主角嚟咯。
主角睇下相嘅講兩句啦。我哋玩咗3分鐘，玩咗5分鐘以上，10分鐘以內，係咯。嗱，咁其實就香港出戰啦。咁其實有樣嘢好緊要嘅，呢次第3次世界聯賽咧，就講明玩 AWS Jam。就可以俾錢解決個問題嘅，唔會玩唔到啦。因為之前 Game Day 咧係俾錢都玩唔到嘅。我哋就係香港第一個買咗咩 Skill Builder 嘅地方，係啦，我哋 Team Subscription 我哋第一個客。咁咧 其實咧，因為個比賽而家改咗規則，就係有得玩 AWS Jam 同埋 Quiz 啊 Quiz 啊，嗰啲 Quiz 啊，咁所以咧我哋就可以即係可以有機會再分享下，我哋就去咗法國里昂咯，啱今年去咗法國里昂，咁啊再鬥過啦，咁啊當然係一樣鬥18個國家定幾個國家？16個國家嘅，咁都好勁嘅，咁啊結果就今次我哋升咗1格。我哋由第4上到第3，不過咧今次係有準備嘅，係準備到嘔電，先升到1格，係嘔晒血嘅，今次真係嘔心瀝血鬥到，哇！真係玩咗幾日啊，玩到死咁滯，咁就攞咗個第4名翻嚟香港。咁呢個係教育局局長啊，因為其實佢去咗法國。同我哋打氣嘅，即係總之你攞獎前攞獎後，佢都一直全庭即係啲有官跟住，所以我咪話打緊奧運咯，就係咁咯。咁其實都好開心嘅，大家都，因為第一件事，其實呢啲比賽咧可以見到好多人，識到好多人啦。咁啊，我哋去咗啲咩地方啊？哇！第一度啦，我哋之前打咗好多次友誼賽嘅，呢次就咩啊？呢次係去咩？先去過一次愛爾蘭打次預賽，因為我嗰次就去澳洲，今次去愛爾蘭啦。咁愛爾蘭啦，跟住就因為冇錢啦，就叫佢兩個自己去啦。老細陪條僆去，咁因為我哋學校已經冇錢啦，即係揸乾咗啦。咁就今次就去韓國首爾，就同 Samsung 玩 ，Samsung 邀請啊，跟住就，所以我鬥咗好多次嘅，因為再上深圳又玩，跟住online 又玩，仲要搏老命玩啦，不停咁玩，跟住咧Cheung到佢考咗鋪啦，考到未啊？
未考。
喂，快啲考啦！嗱，好老實講，如果我哋下次再有機會揾個香港代表去打世界賽咧，我哋一定會揾個有啱落實 SA 鋪先好去，即係搞唔掂啊！大佬真係太多嘢要 cover 啦，冇去到 SA 鋪玩唔掂啊，真係玩唔掂，因為呢個 AWS 大賽，冇啊，爆鐘啊，唔好意思。咁我哋等陣唔知有冇人傾下問下問題，我講晒都搞咁大家就傾緊。係咯。喂 ，hello， 喂，咁有冇嘢傾下偈？有人想問下嘢？可能冇乜喎，唔緊嘅喎。喺度好寧靜啊，因為其實我今日咧都覺得大家都好寧靜。喂，咁如果唔緊要，喂，總之有嘢我哋食嘢，我哋食住嘢再傾下。OK， 即係可以揾佢打下卡影相，佢有金牌，佢哋兩個個獎牌喺度，係啦，咁就香港得好少嘅呢啲，因為呢啲咁嘅獎牌咧，世界嘅大獎牌咧，儲埋成個香港有史以來咧，唔夠10隻，因為而家我哋玩好多個比賽，但係係好難嘅，因為好多好勁嘅對手，全部 full time 去鬥，我哋就只不過用一個叫做有幾多比幾多啦咁嘅角度嚟玩喎，咁啊難啲。喂，咁啊唔好意思爆中呢場爆嘅。喂點啊？喂 OK， 多謝大家，喂我食 pizza 係嘛
Alright, thank you, Cyrus, and the team. So I still have some closing to talk about before we have Kitson to share with all of you. First of all, we have some souvenirs. Oh, maybe so we will have some souvenirs for today's speakers. We will have a big photo from AWS. Just one moment. I think the souvenir is coming. Yes. So may I invite your first speaker, Ali? Thank you so much.
Ôi vô hợp điện luôn đi à?係咯，影咗8隻盒唔係我就最識見到我 logo 嘛。
同埋用一隻影咪得，跟住之後攞就可以。係。1、2、3。
再嚟多張先，1、2、3，OK。
好，maybe can I invite Cyrus？
一齊啦，
一齊都可以。
係咯，你攞咗俾我見隔離啦，望我鏡頭影咗陣。
1、2、3，OK。
好，呢度，好，3、2、1，OK。
And also Kitson，
多謝啦，代翻啦，係啊，多謝。3、2、1，OK。
好，望下呢度。OK。
And we still have one more photos to take, which is the group photo. So maybe we can take from this way.
我哋揸住張呢啲。
你影過嚟，可以將張先啊。